Hi everyone. Welcome to spring. It's officially spring now. And so this week we're going to read a book called Thunder Cake. This is by Patricia Polacco, and it is telling you about something that happens a lot in the spring. We have thunderstorms a lot. So this little girl is afraid of the thunder, and we're going to find out how her grandmom, or babushka, helps her get over that fear. And they make something delicious called a thunder cake? What is that? Well, let's find out what that is. Thunder Cake by Patricia Polacco. Grandma looked at the horizon, drew a deep breath, and said, "This is thunder cake baking weather. All right, looks like a storm coming on." So here she is. She lives on a farm, and she's looking over there, and she sees the storm coming in. "Child, you come out from under that bed. It's only thunder you're hearing," my grandma said. The air was hot, heavy, and damp. A loud clap of thunder shook the house and rattled the windows and made me grab her close. "Steady, child," she cooed. "Unless you let go of me, we won't be able to make a thunder cake today." "Thunder cake?" I stammered as I hugged her even closer. "Don't pay attention to that old thunder, except to see how close the storm is getting. When you see the lightning, start counting real slow. When you hear the thunder, stop counting. That number is how many miles away the storm is. Understand?" she asked. "We need to know how far away the storm is, so we have time to make the cake and get it into the oven before the storm comes, or it won't be a real thunder cake." Her eyes surveyed the black clouds away off in the distance, and then she strode into the kitchen. Her warm hands pulled a thick book from the shelf above the wood stove. "Let's find that recipe, child," she crowed as she lovingly fingered the grease-stained pages to a creased spot. "Here it is, thunder cake." And she carefully penned the ingredients onto a piece of notepaper. "Now, let's gather all the things we'll need," she exclaimed as she scurried toward the back door. We were by the barn door when a huge bolt of lightning flashed. I started counting, like Grandma told me to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the thunder roared. 10 miles. It's 10 miles away, Grandma said as she looked at the sky. "About an hour away, I'd say. You'll have to hurry, child. Gather them eggs careful, like," she said. Eggs from mean old Nellie Peckhen. I was scared. I knew she would try to peck me. "I'm here. She won't hurt you. Just get them eggs," Grandma said softly. And the lightning flashed again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I counted. 9 miles, Grandma reminded me. Milk was next. milk from old Kick Cow. As Grandma milked her, Kick Cow turned and looked mean right at me. I was scared. She looked so big. Zip went the lightning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I counted. Boom went the thunder. 8 miles, child, Grandma croaked. Now we have to get the chocolate and the sugar and flour from the dry shed. I was scared as we walked down the path from the farmhouse through tangleweed woods to the dry shed. And suddenly the lightning split the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I counted. Boom! 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 Crashed the thunder, and it scared me a lot, but I kept walking with Grandma. 3 overripe tomatoes and some strawberries, Grandma whispered as she squinted at the list. And I climbed high on the trellis, and the ground looked a long way down. I was scared. I'm here, child, she said. Her voice was steady and soft. You won't fall. And I reached 3 luscious tomatoes while she picked the strawberries. Lightning again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I counted. Kabang! Boom! The thunder growled. We hurried back to the house in the warm kitchen, and we measured the ingredients. I poured them into a mixing bowl while Grandma mixed, and I churned the butter for the frosting and melted chocolate. Finally, we poured the batter into the cake pans and put them in the oven together. Lightning lit the kitchen. I counted to 3, and the thunder rumbled and crashed. 3 miles away, Grandma said, and the cake is in the oven. We made it! We'll have a real thunder cake. As we waited for the cake, Grandma looked out the window for a long time. Why, you aren't afraid of thunder. You're too brave, she said as she looked right at me. I'm not brave, Grandma, I said. I was under the bed, remember? But you got out from under it, she answered, and you got eggs from mean old Nellie Pickhen, and you got milk from old Kick Cow, and you went through tangleweed woods to the dry shed, and you climbed a trellis in the barnyard. From where I sit, only a very brave person could have done all them things. And I thought as the storm rumbled closer. She was right. I was brave. Brave people can't be afraid of a sound, child, she said, as we spread out the tablecloth and set the table. And when we were done, we hurried into the kitchen to take the cake out of the oven. And after the cake had cooled, we frosted it. And just then, the lightning flashed, and this time it lit up the whole sky. Even before the last flash had faded, the thunder boom, crash, and boom just above us. The storm was here. Perfect, Grandma cooed. Just perfect. She beamed as she added the last strawberry to the glistening chocolate frosting on top of our thunder cake. And as the rain poured down on our roof, Grandma cut a wedge of cake for both of us, and she poured us steaming cups of tea from the samovar. And the thunder roared above us so hard that it shook the windows and rattled the dishes in the cupboard. We just smiled and ate our thunder cake. And from that time on, I never feared the voice of thunder again. The end. Wasn't that nice? And the surprise in the thunder cake was tomatoes. I've never had a cake with tomatoes in it. Maybe I'll try it.